Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we're gonna mix an El Presidente. So an El Presidente, it's a classic Cuban cocktail, probably made the first time at the beginning of the 20th century, 1910, 1915, and it's really a Cuban take on the classic Manhattan. So let's start mixing. But before we start mixing, actually, there is one thing we need to do, and it is to make homemade grenadine syrup. Now, I always use my really crappy grenadine up there, which is super old and super synthetic flavored. Also because I always feel like homemade grenadine syrup, how hard is it gonna be? Like you have to get a pomegranate and squeeze all the seeds. Well, we are not gonna go to that extent. Apparently you can make homemade pomegranate syrup just by using pomegranate juice and sugar, and basically you make a simple syrup with that, and that's about it. I guess I'm gonna do it the American way, so I'm gonna measure using cups, and I think I'm gonna make maybe 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Oh, that's too much. Okay, so 2/3 of a cup of sugar in a small saucepan, and then I'm gonna put the same amount of this 100% pomegranate juice. Yep, 2/3 of a cup. Of course, I saw a recipe online using 2 cups. I guess you can make a big amount of it if you want. And let's put a bit of lemon zest and a spray of lemon juice. At least that's what one recipe I checked was saying. So let's do this. Now we put this on a low fire, we stir it, and we let it boil for maybe 5 minutes, something like that. Let's see. So since it started simmering, I let it simmer for 15 minutes actually, because I wanted to achieve a better viscosity, which I hope now we do. Not quite sure though. But let me pour this out in a container, and so we can let it chill. It still feels pretty liquid, but maybe it's because it's hot. Because it should at least have the viscosity of a simple syrup. Anyway, let's try this. So while we chill our coupe, let's prepare the ingredients. So we are gonna start with 7.5 milliliters of dry curacao, or 1/4 of an ounce. I'm using this mixing glass today just because I used it yesterday night and it was there. And I was like, well, I might as well use it today too, as it's there and it's ready. And then we are gonna do equal parts, 22.5 milliliters of dry vermouth. Some people say you should use a white vermouth that's not dry, but I think I will make do with this Carpano Dry, which I really like. And then in this variation of El Presidente, I'm gonna use a bit of rum agricole. This is the JM, aged 1 year, 50% ABV. It's just slightly agricole, really. It doesn't have that really thick funk of some other agricole options. If I would have to use a Okinawan rum, which has a lot more funk, I will use just maybe 5-10 milliliters. With this one, in this way, I can go equal parts this and Plantation Xaimaka, which is the pot still blended rum from Jamaica by Plantation, which is really nice. It's 43% ABV and this one to 22.5 milliliters. Even here, some people say you should use a white rum, but I tried both white rum and this one tasted better, so I'm gonna use this one. And then let's give a shot to this homemade grenadine syrup. And we are gonna use just 1 teaspoon. This grenadine, yeah, it's superior to the crappy artificial one. And then I'm gonna proceed like I did for the Negroni Bar I5 version. So I'm gonna get a big rock of ice and I'm gonna make it slightly wet to help with the dilution. And I'm gonna place it in my mixing glass. Yes, perfect. And then I'm gonna mix like this. It smells amazing. It smells really good. The combination of the Plantation Jamaican pot still rum, which has all this caramel flavor with a bit of agricole that the rum JM brings to the table, and this grenadine. Well, let's taste it, but I think it's a pretty good combo. Normally I will try to skip the grenadine if I could in a cocktail, so I use simple syrup. Like famously in my Bailey's video, I think, I tried to make up fake grenadine using coloring. But if this grenadine turns out to be as good as I think, then I will have no more reason to skip on the grenadine anymore. Let's pour it in our chilled coupe. And that's about it. And El Presidente, a Cuban variation on the Manhattan. Cheers. Yeah, it's a nice cocktail. This is good. Might even put a bit more of that grenadine syrup. But this way is perfectly balanced. All the flavor come through nicely. And it's extremely nice. I don't know if the curacao come through. It's a really dry cocktail. Some variation of El Presidente, which I think I will propose you in the future, puts a bit of lime or use a bit more sugar. Well, let me put 1 more teaspoon of this nice grenadine and let me see what's the effect. The grenadine is still warm and is crystallized a bit at the impact with a cold cocktail. Let's see. Cheers. Yeah. With a grenadine like this, yeah, I will bring it up to 10 milliliters or 2 teaspoons of grenadine. Also, yeah, we use the Carpano Dry, which is probably drier than the vermouth suggested, but I think it's a good choice anyway, because it's dry, but it's floral and it's... yeah, I love that. And that's about it. Pretty easy video. When you have a great drink, perfectly balanced, what you have to do? Nothing. Just propose it to you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, share it with everybody you love, but in the end do whatever you want. You're free of leaving this website and never see me again. That's the beauty of the internet. In the meanwhile, steal yourself a drink, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers. So I hope you enjoy the... O furo ga 巻きました。